Okay, so it's that time of the year again. Everyone is starting to get sick. People to the left, to the right, your friends, family, colleagues. Every autumn, you start hearing it. Everyone's getting sick again. And this is not bad luck. This is also not how it's supposed to be. This is misalignment in your biology, in your nutrition protocol, in the way you treat and your health in general. But we also have to understand that if we approach this in the correct way, how we did back in the days, back in 200, 300, 400, I don't know how many years ago, but a lot of years ago, right? This should not be the case, right? You should be able to be as healthy, as vital in the winter as in the summer, in the fall as in the autumn, right? It doesn't matter what season we are in. If we're approaching that specific season correctly, then we can be and thrive in all of them. In Sweden, it's so clear from where I'm from, right? Sweden. It's the same thing. Everyone is sick right now. Literally everyone is sick. And if that person is not sick, they have a friend or a family member that is sick, right? I can promise you that. And it's not rocket science. People are staying indoors more. People are, eating tropical fruit in the winter and are not controlling all the inputs. As I'm gonna go over all of these or all of those inputs in this guide for you, so stay with me. But one thing here, or same thing here that I said, the one thing that I want to come across is just this is not how it has to be. If we're approaching it correctly, you can be healthy, you can be vital, you can feel amazing year round, and you're not gonna damage your immune system to the point where viruses can take advantage of you the same way as they do if you have a weak immune system, if your biology is completely mismatched. So before we dive into this, we gotta understand why everyone gets sick this time of the year. When the light disappears, your biology shifts. Vitamin D drops, circadian rhythm gets disrupted, you move less and stay indoors more. Stress builds up while your immune system runs on empty. Your immune system runs on light, minerals, and regulation. And when those inputs are missing, your defense weaken and viruses takes advantage. The key isn't to fight the season, it's to adapt to it. You're not fragile, you're adaptive. Nature gives us winter not to weaken us, but to reset us. And when you move with the season, not against it, you stop getting sick and start thriving year round. This is how you build resilience. And this guide will show you exactly how to do that with clear implementations on all pillars that we are going to be covering. So let's start. First, we have to understand the real causes of seasonal weakness. The modern winter trap. So we've insulted ourselves from the natural world and we're paying for it, right? Here we have a little table with biological factors here, what happens in the winter effects. So light deficiency, first of all, people staying indoors more and not spending time outside in the sun just because it's colder, it's not as comfy, and less sunlight equals or leads to less vitamin D and circadian signaling, which leads to lower immune resilience, poor sleep, low energy. Movement decline, less outdoor activity, people are indoor more, same thing here. Lymph stagnation, poor circulation. Indoor toxins, spending more time inside under AC, stale air, mold, artificial light. Weakened lungs causes more inflammation. Nervous system stress, more mental stress, less grounding, cortisol up, immune system down. Mismatched diet, summer foods in the winter, smoothies, tropical fruits, which completely messes up your endocrine system, your hormones, hormonal confusion, and gut stress. If we just zoom out, simplify this. In summer, I'm gonna take Sweden as the example there because this is a prime example of a Nordic climate as well. People are on the beach, in the sun, grounding when they're on the beach. Why are people not sick in the summer? Well, you tell me. And then in the winter, when people have a shit ton of clothes. They're never outside because it's cold. They are never outside they never get sunlight because there is no sun in the winter, which is complete horseshit. We still get the light, even if it's cloudy, even if it's overcast. So that's just a simplified structure. Healthy, unhealthy, right? Let's take this a step further. We gotta rebuild the seasonal inputs. Light is your master immune regulator. Even when it's cloudy, the signal still matters, as I said. Light enters through your eyes and skin, setting your circadian rhythm and immune programming. Implementations for you. These are the action steps or tasks that should be ticked off. Morning light within 30 minutes of waking. Outside, no sunglasses. Super important. Watch the sunset to cue melatonin for sleep if possible. Use red light therapy in the mornings or evenings if you have that available. I do. Fantastic. I love it. Recommend everyone to get one, to be honest, especially living in Nordic climates. Avoid bright white blue light at night. Switch to warm ambient light if we have to, but if we're exposed to blue light, we should always have a good pair of blue light blocking glasses on as a band-aid to the problem. That's what we have to understand. Of course, you ideally don't want to expose yourself to it, but it's better than sitting and staring into the screen without them on. So that's something that I'm using every single night as well. A good pair of blue light blockers. Nutrition, what your body needs. When light drops, nutrients like vitamin D, magnesium, and zinc becomes non-negotiable. So the core winter stack is the following. Vitamin D3 plus K2 supports immune function, hormones, and bone strength. Personally, I take a very high dose, and I've been doing for a long time, multiple years. 15,000 IUs in the winters of D3. Magnesium, of course, essential cofactor for D3 activation and relaxation. We already know this. If you've watched the supplement video, you know this. Zinc, personally, I don't take this in a supplement form. I get it from oysters and seafood instead. But it helps with white blood cells and testosterone production, obviously. Collagen, same thing there. Preferably the real stuff, bone broth, which is going to strengthen cognitive tissues and detox capacity. So implementations on the nutritional side. We want to make sure we take a good amount of vitamin D3 daily with food paired with K2 and magnesium. We got to eat liver, eggs, seafood, slow cooked broth for maximum nutrient density. What I do is I try to take off, I view oysters as a bit of a supplement almost. I try to get a serve or 10-ish oysters sometime throughout the week as a weekly supplement-ish. So 10 oysters or a couple oysters one time per week is going to cover that. Collagen at least every other day, I would say, but also making sure that I'm doing a lot of slow cooked just recipes and brothy meals to make sure that I take this off as much as possible as well. We gotta add a lot of trace minerals or good quality sea salt to our water for hydration. That's the nutrition. Number 4, grounding and nervous system regulation. Your immune system is directly tied to your nervous system state. When you're chronically in fight or flight, your immune defense drops, and this is the standard state for someone in Nordic climate doing absolutely everything wrong, right? They're in a chronically fight or flight state. So what you should be doing then? Well, you gotta ground daily, 5 to 10 minutes barefoot on soil, grass or stone. Breathe slowly, exhale longer than you inhale to activate parasympathetic mode. Ideally, you wanna obviously breathe through the nose as well, super important. The mouth is for eating, the nose is for breathing. So don't be a mouth breather, please. Cold exposure sauna, fantastic as well. Alternate to improve vagal tone and stress tolerance. It's actually insane. When doing cold exposure, you actually trigger your mitochondria to produce light from within so that you internally can produce D3. So non-negotiable people living in Nordic climates, I think, to do cold exposure, especially in the winters when it starts to get colder outside, less light. These practices discharge static stress and it balances your inflammation. Number 5, eat for the season. Your metabolism changes with light. Winter requires warmth, density, and minerals. So what you should be focusing on is to replace the cold smoothies, salads, tropical fruits with stews, soups, slow-cooked meats, and root vegetables. Animal fats, butter, tallow, ghee for stable energy, and of course fermented foods such as sauerkraut, kefir, kimchi for gut immunity. We want to limit sugar and refined carbs. They suppress white blood cells or white blood cell function. Eat what grows around you. It's so simple. Seasonal eating supports hormone balance and energy. We don't have to overcomplicate this at all. The only thing you should be focusing on is just what grows around me. It's literally that simple. Can I find a mango on Christmas Eve in Sweden, out in the woods? No, I definitely can't. Trust me, I've tried. I've searched for it, but I haven't found it. Simple as that. Sleep and recovery. Super, super important. In winter, the nights are longer for a reason. Your body needs more rest. You gotta add 30 to 60 minutes more sleep per night than in summer, in my opinion. You gotta keep your bedroom cool, dark, and free of electronics to maximize sleep quality. Avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. If you want to take the sleep to the next level as well. On my page, there's a in-depth sleep optimization protocol as well. It's a insight into my Superhuman Protocol program as well. So it's usually something that my clients only has access to. So if you want to take a look at that as well, I can probably link it in this video or something as well. Of course, avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. Take magnesium glycinate, glycine, or theanine if your nervous system is overstimulated. Sleep is when your immune system regenerates and your hormones balance. Don't shortcut it. Winter hibernation is definitely a thing, right? I know for myself as well. Like I just feel in the summer I don't need as much sleep. I don't need as much restorative sleep to feel amazing until my body wakes up naturally. But in the winters I always need more sleep. And there's a reason why the bears go into hibernation and these things in the winters, right? Just take a look at that. Number 7, detoxification and circulation. Winter often means less sweating and movement, so toxins and inflammation builds up. What you have to focus on is the following. You gotta sweat weekly, ideally daily. Sauna or hot baths to support detox. Hydrate deeply, filtered water plus minerals, morning plasma. Broth, collagen daily to support the liver and other connective tissues. Dry brushing or light movement before showers to keep lymph flowing. So some lymphatic activation and things like this. If we don't sweat, it's as it says, we get a crazy toxin build up, which is no bueno. So sauna is super, super important. I try to do it 3 to 4 times minimum throughout the whole winter, and that keeps your detox pathways open and just makes you feel amazing. So, number 8, the seasonal sickness rescue plan. If you feel something coming on, you gotta act fast. If you load vitamin D, C, zinc, and magnesium for 3 to 4 days. Go heavy on bone broth, garlic, ginger, lemon, and honey. Rest. Your immune system only works when the parasympathetic state is active. Sauna or hot bath, short sweat sessions support fever and detox. Avoid cold foods, alcohol, and excessive training. You can often stop illness in its tracks if you intervene early and support your body instead of fighting it. So if you have someone around you, if you have a partner that you live with that is sick and you like, I don't want it, this is also very good like prevention kind of protocol. This is what you should be followed to make sure that you also not get sick. I would argue that the most important thing here is making sure that you're just so as low stressed as possible, because the traditional seasonal or non-existing seasonal approach of a lot of people, especially in Sweden, is causing just constant stress, constant sympathetic nervous system activation, which is making you so available to all the shit around you. Because that's the thing as well, like we have so much shit around us all the time, so you don't want to like lower your guard, if you know what I mean. You always want to keep that as high up as possible to make sure that all these things can just flow through, but you have your guard up. You're not gonna let it down and let this thing through. So the deeper principle, if we summarize this, we want to move with nature, not against it. Your biology is seasonal. Your mitochondria, hormones, and immune system evolved to adapt to cycles of light, temperature, and food. When you ignore these cues, eating tropical fruit under LED light in January, you're sending your body the wrong signals. When you align with the season, warm foods, mineral-rich hydration, sunlight, grounding, and rest, your biology synchronizes with the environment. That's when you stop getting sick and start getting resilient. I think this is also why it's so important to have some context when you talk nutrition, because there's a lot of people doing a lot of different things and having a lot of beliefs and approaches and philosophies that they stand by. Let's take an example. Paul Saladino. Hi, most of you guys probably know who it is, right? Preaches animal food and high sugar, a lot of fruits, right? Works fantastic for him. He lives in Costa Rica, close to the equator, warm weather, sun year round. If you live in Sweden and you try to follow his philosophies, you're gonna feel absolute horse shit. Why do I say that? Well, because first of all, of these reasons, and second of all, I know this for a fact because I've felt into this trap. I've done that. I've done the animal-based, fruit and meat, basically. And during winter, I can tell you that I felt absolutely horrible doing that. It requires context. Nutrition is such a deep and complex subject, right? That's why the easiest solution to this whole problem is always just thinking, what's available around me? That's literally the easiest way and the most simplified way of approaching it, that is going to give you the most bang for your buck health-wise as well. We can't find mangoes and pineapple on Christmas Eve in Sweden. Therefore, eating that is going to cause a lot of problems for us. So that's what I've found work the best. It's also what works the best with all my clients as well. It's just what grows around you. It's literally that simple, on paper at least. And as I said, I've tried to do all these things. I've tried to do the meat and fruit or high sugar basically in winter. I felt absolutely horrible. Never looked as bad as then. But when I stuck to brothy, slow cooked meat, long cooks, soups, these things, low sugar in the winter, felt amazing. Looked as good as I do or did in the summer as in the winter, and that's also a very good variable to go based on. Generally people tend to look so much softer and worse in the winter compared to in the summer. That's also just same thing there. It's because of the misalignment. So if you've been feeling tired, or first of all, I'll put I'm gonna put a Notion page in the description as well, where I have like all the implementations and the guides and the checkboxes ticked off, so you can just copy that or take a screenshot of that or something, so you have everything summarized on a page, to make it easier for you as well to see all the implementations. I'll put that as the first link. Then I might put the sleep protocol, as I said, that's the second link or something. We'll see, but I'll make sure to put the Notion page as the first one. And if you've been feeling super tired, inflamed, or off every single winter. Once again, it's not random, it's not bad luck. Your biology just needs a good old recalibration. And this is of course something that I'm doing with all my clients in my one-to-one, in my Supreme protocol. We rebuild your foundation: nervous system regulation, seasonal nutrition and supplementation, light and circadian alignment, mitochondrial repair, just to name a couple of the things that we focus on. So if you're interested in that, in potentially working with me one-to-one to fix all these things, to take your health to the next level, I'll also leave a link in the description to book in a consultation call, or a discovery call, where we can just talk about your situation, see where you're at, see where you're where you want to head, your goals, and understand your bottlenecks, to see if I can provide any help, and potentially see if we can be a good fit to work together. So make sure to do that if you want to take things to the next level. If you have any questions on the topic, or questions on working with me one-to-one, you can always just shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I'll make sure to get back to you as soon as I see your message. And without further ado, I hope you enjoyed this little walkthrough and protocol on how to never get sick when everyone else around you does. If you follow all of these steps, all these 1, 2, or 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I guess, steps, I guarantee you that seasonal depression, seasonal sickness will not have a chance or stand a chance against you. You will forever never experience those things. And when all colleagues, all friends, all family members are sick, you will be the last man standing, healthy, vital, strong, year round. How it should be. Thanks for this one. Hope you enjoyed.